Hello, I'm the unknown Pundit. Thank you for tuning in, and I'm sorry I have to do these videos like this and trying to maintain some sense of anonymity. I'm a nobody, and I can't afford to be attacked because I have an opinion. In this day and age, there are people who are getting arrested, legally challenged simply for speaking their mind. And I am in one of those states where MAGA dominates, in this case, Florida. So I have to keep this on the down low. At the same time, I cannot keep being quiet at what I'm seeing, especially after the murder of a parent in Minneapolis, Renee Nicole Good, a mother of 4 children, who was shot in the face 3 times by an ICE agent. We really don't know because the man is in a black mask, and these days anybody in a mask can claim to be an officer of ICE, but who knows if it's true or not. But I've got 2 questions for people to consider in the wake of what has happened in the last few days. And I'll come back to what ICE is doing to Americans. But there's something else I wish more people would look into. Beyond all the foreign immigrants and American citizens who've been getting detained by ICE, rounded up and stuck in detention camps, what about the children? Since 2019, there have been more than 2,000, almost 3,000 in fact, almost 3,000 cases of children abused at immigration centers. Horrific stories. And I can remember in Trump's first term, there was the little girl who got raped at the ICE detention camp. But now inspectors have found that since 2019, there's been some 2,900 cases where evidence indicates children, tweens, young people being abused in these ICE centers. And examples include the 10-year-old who was recovering from brain surgery. They stuck on a plane, shipped out of the country without any follow-up of doctor's care or doctor's advice. That was a 10-year-old child. Then there is the 4-year-old child who was getting cancer treatments that they took the 4-year-old and shipped out of the country, with denying access to health care and the medicines that were keeping the child alive. These are just 2 tiny cases, but there have been thousands of cases involving children rounded up by agents of ICE. Right now, we don't know how many children they've taken or where those children are because they've lost so many. Isn't it curious that a likely pedophile and best friend to someone like Epstein and Maxwell, who were engaged in the business of sexually trafficking young children, why would our president, who was involved in all that, suddenly be so interested in rounding up all these children, including those hundreds of kids they were going to smuggled off to Guatemala until the judge's order tried to stop it, and the administration refused to follow the court order and tried to get those kids out of the country anyway. But where are the children? How many do they have? Where are they? Is anyone asking this question? No. Second question. Second. If you may have seen that Trump has now proclaimed that he is the acting president of Venezuela, as he intended all along. But the law states that if you are president of another country, you cannot maintain your American citizenship. And if you're not an American citizen, you can't be the president of the United States. So what I'm saying is Trump cannot be president of two countries at the same time. MAGA, you asnastic, moronic miscreants. You deserve every bad thing that happens to you for standing up for a pedophile and supporting abuse to children, as well as the murder of unarmed mothers, the pepper spraying of small children, and the other horrid atrocities that ICE is committing to Americans, not foreign immigrants. I'm talking because I cannot stay silent anymore, but I'm trying to do this on the down low so I don't have to deal with retaliation that I cannot afford to fight or confront, because I just can't, and my family can't. It's dangerous to speak your mind these days, but I've got to say something. I can't just be quiet. Here's the questions I have. How is Trump allowed to be president of two countries? But the more important question, where are the children? Who's protecting them? Because it sure isn't the pedophile we've got in the Oval Office.